We're built with these incredibly strict physical and mental boundaries, right? But at the same time, we are constantly reaching for something that literally has none. This explainer explores what is easily one of the most profound paradoxes we'll ever face: our limited human mind trying to somehow comprehend the absolute infinite. So let's dive right into this fascinating tension.
Allah is beyond the beyond, beyond the beyond, beyond the beyond, and infinitely beyond even those beyonds. Wow, this striking statement from the source material instantly shatters what is probably our biggest human illusion: the arrogant assumption that we have actually truly comprehended God. Think about it for a second. Our human faculties, our sight, our knowledge, our physical strength, even our lifespans, they are all strictly limited. And yet, despite these obvious limits, we constantly try to confine the infinite within our own human measurements. It's a totally natural trap for sure, but a really dangerous one.
So, Section 1. Shattering our mental idols.
You see, when we try to box the infinite into our tiny, limited understanding, we end up creating something entirely false. A mental idol isn't just some ancient stone statue. It's whatever or whoever you suppose as a god, or even just an idea that falsely limits the infinite. We hear the word idol and we immediately think of people thousands of years ago worshiping carvings. But human beings today sometimes just worship their own ideas. The literal moment you sit back and believe you've fully understood the infinite, boom, you've placed a boundary on it. You've created a mental idol that absolutely must be shattered.
So how do we break out of this false sense of closeness? Well, the text outlines this really subtle, beautiful balance of 3 realizations. 1. We cannot comprehend, yet we know. 2. We cannot see, yet we recognize. And 3. We cannot encompass, yet we turn toward. It's a paradox, sure, but it's a deeply empowering one. Acknowledging our complete inability to wrap our minds around the infinite isn't a failure. It's actually the precise beginning of true nearness to it. This whole philosophy boils down to an emotional truth you can just feel immediately. The moment you claim, "I have grasped it," truth escapes your hand. It really hits the nail on the head. True understanding doesn't start with intellectual mastery. Actually, scratch that. It starts the exact second we admit our own helplessness. When our ego finally steps back, that's when the heart's gate actually opens.
Moving on to Section 2, knowledge must become character.
All right, so you might be wondering, how do we actually navigate our lives with this reality on, say, a random Tuesday afternoon? Well, trying to know the true essence of the infinite is completely impossible. It's exactly like trying to look directly at the sun. You're just going to be blinded. However, recognizing the names, the divine attributes, that is entirely possible. It's like finding your way through the world using the sun's light. You can't stare at the sun, but you navigate your entire life by the light it provides.
So how do we interact with that light? The scholars advise us to quote-unquote adorn ourselves with the character of God. Now, the underlying theme here is about carrying a trust. We strive for mercy because He is the most merciful. We strive for justice because He is the just. We try to cultivate subtlety because He is the subtle. This doesn't mean we magically possess these infinite traits. No way. It means we act as trustworthy carriers of them in our very limited human capacity. We are called to reflect the light, not generate it. But, and this is absolutely crucial, there's a huge trap here. A very real danger of getting swept up in unrestrained emotion and losing our balance entirely. A person might embrace a trait they just really love, like mercy, but completely overlook the necessary balance of justice. Or maybe they constantly demand forgiveness, but entirely neglect wisdom. True balance lies in turning toward all the attributes together. You can't just cherry-pick the ones that make you feel good, because that destroys the very equilibrium that protects us. As this next couplet warns us, turning toward all these names is honestly completely useless if it just remains some abstract intellectual exercise. It has to descend into your everyday life. Cold, hard knowledge doesn't change you. Character is what transforms you. If you don't embody these traits, all that profound philosophical knowledge, it literally just becomes a heavy burden on your back.
Which brings us to Section 3, the key to true meaning.
Now, what's really interesting here is how we apply this spiritual framework to our daily view of the physical world. The source outlines 2 distinct ways to look at existence. If things are viewed entirely for themselves, it creates this deep sense of separation and leads you straight into the dead end of materialism. You just get totally lost in the physical stuff. But if things are viewed for the sake of their creator, it creates a profound connection. It allows the objects and events in your life to be read as signs. It finally places the whole shebang in its rightful, meaningful position.
To navigate this, and to keep us from drifting into cold materialism or wildly overflowing emotion, we're given a specific trinity of guidance. 1, the intellect exists, but we must recognize it's limited. 2, the heart exists, but it has to be measured and balanced. And 3, revelation exists, and it acts as the ultimate guide. This right here is your map for staying on the right path.
And when you follow that map, you develop what is called the trustee's awareness. This is a real game changer. You finally realize you're just a trustee, not the ultimate owner of anything. Just look at how this transforms your inner world. Your view of blessings turns from simple entitlement into profound gratitude. The people around you turn from subjects of your judgment into subjects of deep compassion. Your entire life suddenly gains rich meaning. The physical world outside of you hasn't changed one single bit, but your inner world has become entirely different.
Think about the stakes of this mindset for a second. An egocentric worldview, where everything is just there for you to consume or control, is an incredibly heavy burden. It weighs upon your soul. But a connected worldview, looking at things as signs for the sake of the Creator, literally lights the path forward. As the couplet beautifully reminds us, look for the sake of the Creator, and they become your road.
Ultimately, things are not meant to be grasped. They're meant to be read as signs. The infinite is approached with deep love, but its awe and reverence are carefully preserved. We have to stop trying to greedily grasp at existence, to own it, or to completely comprehend it with our limited human minds. Instead, we read it, we experience it as a series of signs pointing towards something infinitely greater.
So, as we close out this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to really ponder today. If what you see isn't truly yours to own, and what you know isn't ever truly enough to encompass the infinite, is your direction true? Take a moment to reflect on your own mental idols. Are you trying to own the unownable? Let go of that need to grasp, and instead just make sure you're facing the right direction. Keep questioning, keep learning, and keep reflecting.